All right, welcome to another edition of It's Still Real to Me. Everything ZASLOW Show 2.0, including It's Still Real to Me, our pro wrestling podcast, is brought to us by the title sponsor of everything, ZASLOW Show 2.0. Of course, we're talking about Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, hit and run, motorcycle, car, boating. If you're dealing with a personal injury, I send you to Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, where they're going to treat you like family. You could focus on making sure your health is getting back to where it should be, and they're focused on getting you the money that you deserve. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. My pal is Joey Levin. He is here with us on a Saturday. Good morning, Joey. How are you? You doing okay? You feeling a little bit better?
Feeling better. I hope I sound better.
Yeah.
But still not 100%, but we're there. We're getting there. Way better than last Sunday.
I figured we could do the show today. We did last week on Sunday. We wanted to make sure that we got Collision. Now, Collision's tonight, but Collision's been a red hot show. Yeah. You know, I did not expect. Now, I don't think I'm going to be watching Collision live tonight. I don't know what I got going on, but I will make sure that I watch Collision. Like, for instance, I didn't watch Rampage last night. I have it saved on the DVR. I don't really have a plan to watch Rampage, but I am going to.
Did you? I mean, I figured I didn't watch Rampage either, but I figured you would have watched Rampage.
Was there a number one contender battle royal?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I gotta go back and watch it then.
Royal Rampage. I think it was 2 rings, 20 men.
Oh, okay. So they taped it after Dynamite, after Blood and Guts. Yeah. Okay, maybe I do got to go because I love Battle Royal. So maybe I do got to go back.
I figure we'd lead the show with that.
Okay. Well, we can't because I haven't seen it. But I will watch Collision. Collision's been a surprisingly great show, but I didn't think we needed to watch Collision before we did today because, like last week, I wanted to see the finals, the Owen Hart tournament. I wanted to make sure we commented about that, which, of course, we know Ricky Starks won. And so I guess there'll be some continuation there tonight with Punk and FTR, of course, who are on Collision now. And there's FTR involved in what we're going to talk about from Wednesday night, of course, the blind eliminator tag team tournament, you know. So
the only thing I know for sure tonight is House of Black versus the Acclaimed for the trios title. Other than that, I haven't.
I was about to sneeze. I apologize.
I haven't seen anything else major announced.
Okay,
so, but I'm guessing, we'll get more on the Ricky Starks Punk stuff.
Yeah. So we'll circle back to AEW. I think Dynamite had a lot of meat on the bone this week for us to talk about. And we're gonna have some fun today as well. For instance, obviously, we're gonna talk about MJF and Adam Cole. We're gonna do each of our top 5 oddball tag team combinations.
Yeah, odd couples. The best odd couples.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that based off of MJF and Adam Cole, and that'll be fun to get to. But let's start with WWE. And you know what? Let's just start with SmackDown from last night. It's fresh on our minds here. And so they opened the show with the Fatal 4-Way, where the winner is going to compete against Santos Escobar, who won the Fatal 4-Way last week. And the winner of that next week on SmackDown is going to face Austin Theory for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. And obviously, LA Knight's going to win the Fatal 4-Way, and then he's going to beat Santos Escobar, and then they're going to put the U.S. title on him in a stadium in Detroit at SummerSlam. And so, and away we go. You strap a rocket to him. Let's put a belt on him, and let's do something here. And once again, Joey, I was so mad at the end of that match. Now, I guess that's a good thing where I'm invested enough in this character that I continue to get mad when he doesn't win. He can't win a big match, which I think is also, you got this Fatal 4-Way, you got the last big match he was in, Money in the Bank. He obviously did not win the feud against Bray Wyatt. He does not win big matches. But I guess that's a testament to how over he is, where if you can keep losing matches and you remain over, like, you're doing something right there, you know? Yeah. So I found myself really mad again at the finish of the match, but more so because I don't understand what they're doing now. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think I do. And also the weird thing is
like, I understood him not winning Money in the Bank. I was fine with it.
The weird thing is LA Knight. Again, I'll keep saying this. Been on it since NXT. Like this guy, since he was in NXT, I didn't really know much about him before NXT, but once he got to NXT and I started watching him, I'm like, this is a star. This guy's a top guy. Push him, whatever. That being said, I think I'm the only person who's not like furious about this. And there's a couple reasons. One, this is WWE 101. This is what WWE does. They're going to make him lose to you, give up on it. And then he's going to win, and you're going to get the biggest pop in the history of pop. Like, this is the CM Punk strategy. This is the Daniel Bryan strategy. This, to a lesser extent, this was the Dolph strategy. You thought
so
Dolph
you think it's going to work?
100%. The guy is that good.
So.
Everyone loves him. Everyone loves him. They're not going to stop loving him. They might give up on the idea that he's ever going to get his push. And then right at that moment, WWE is going to push the shit out of him. And then he's going to be even bigger because of it. LA Knight doesn't need the US title. And I understand this would have been really cool for him to win the Fatal 4-Way, then beat Santos, and then beat Theory. But really, is that big enough for how big this guy is? Like for me, okay, he beats Theory. And everybody would love it because people hate Theory. So there'd be half of it would be just that they hate Theory, and half of it would be because LA Knight finally got his big moment.
Mm-hmm.
How long has he been on the main roster? Like 8 months? A year? Not even. Like, it hasn't been that long.
Right. And
he is huge, but like, he's so popular and he's so over that his moment should be bigger. It should be like main event level.
So are we talking about he's going to win the Royal Rumble?
Maybe.
Like, that's possible. In 6 months.
It's possible. I still think there's an LA Knight Logan Paul thing there that is meat left on the bone. And by the way, we now kind of know why LA Knight or why Logan and Ricochet are doing their thing, because they're going to open SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Like, I'm totally good with it. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize this. Jake Paul is boxing Nate Diaz that night in Dallas, and Logan requested to open the show so he could do his match and fly down.
Oh my God.
To do the walkout with Jake Paul.
Okay, so hold on. Let's think about the logistics here. SummerSlam is going to start at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, that match is going to be a good 20 minutes at least.
Yeah,
25?
Maybe. I don't know. They're going to be doing some crazy shit. It might be like 15, 20 minutes. I don't think they can go that long.
Let's say the match ends at 8:20. All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far the airport is from the stadium, but let's say best case scenario, wheels up 9:15. Best 15 minutes after he ends his match, wheels up 9:15. Even private, it has to be a 2.5 hour flight from the top of the country to the bottom of the country. It has to be
2 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay. 2.5 hours private flight. So we're talking 11:45.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jake Paul, Nate Diaz is the main event. So they're not going to fight until midnight at least.
Is there a time difference there? I think you actually gain an hour. So he may be getting there 10:45 local time.
Yeah, but everything, time wise, every event is based on East Coast time. So even if there's a time change, the event.
You're right. Yes, you're right.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if there's a time change.
You're right.
Because they're still going to start it at the same time.
They're still going to start around 12:15 Eastern. So
yeah, I mean, so like if they're planned, like,
you're right.
Like SummerSlam is going to start at 8 Eastern. It's starting 7 o'clock in Dallas, whatever.
Right. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You're right.
It's actually, I think 2 hours. Because I think,
I think it's an hour.
But anyways, yeah, I mean,
that's kind of very close, man.
I know I got off topic there because we're talking about LA Knight, but I just thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. Yes,
yeah.
I think it's interesting too. Well, so let me ask you here. Here's also where I'm confused. All right. Okay, if you're telling me you think there's a bigger picture with LA Knight, I'm here for it, man. But are you telling me he's not on the card at SummerSlam?
Yeah, well, so a lot of rumors started, and I was going to put this in Big Dirt for today, but since we're talking about this topic, there was a lot midday yesterday. A lot of some wrestling news outlet, I don't even know who it was, put out a report saying LA Knight's push will not start till after SummerSlam.
I saw that.
And so people immediately were like, all right, well, he's losing tonight, and that's it. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be on SummerSlam. Wow. I don't. I don't know what there is. Wow. There's nothing for him right now. There's nothing for him at SummerSlam. There's not. Unless
but somehow, what is for him after SummerSlam?
Unless they somehow insert him back into the U.S. title thing. I don't know. By the way, I don't even think the U.S. title is going to be on SummerSlam.
I think it's going to be the Friday night.
I think it's going to be Rey and Santos, obviously, next week for number one contender.
Rey's going to win, right?
I don't know. I think it could be Santos, because the other rumor that was coming out yesterday was that WWE, and this has been a rumor for like 2 years, that they want a Hispanic champion on TV. Like they've been talking this has been a WWE rumor for as long as like for the last few years. It's like WWE wants to have a Hispanic champion to put on TV for the Hispanic market, but I don't know that it hasn't happened. So now at least one of them is going to be fighting for one. I hope it's not Rey. I like Rey. He's fine. I hope it's Santos. It makes way more sense for it to be Santos. But also the other thing with these guys winning, again, we're only like 3 months removed from LWO being the hottest thing in all of wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I know the LA Knight thing has rapidly picked up popularity, but LWO, how big they have been huge for so long now. Mm-hmm. For this year, they've been one of the biggest things in wrestling. So
man, I was annoyed though. I just said,
that means they have you right where they want you.
Yeah, it ends up being a good thing. Like as long as they're getting emotion out of me, and it was strong emotion last night, I was mad. As long as they're getting emotion out of me, like they're hitting the right spots. But I guess
they asked Triple H after Money in the Bank about LA Knight.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah, and he's not stupid. He sees the crowd reactions. It has to be like you got to eventually capitalize. You got to eventually give the people what they want.
And they always do. The script is not. This is not a new WWE trope, right?
Okay.
It's at least over the last decade. This is how they've sort of built these massive fan favorites.
Are you a little
hold them down? They hold them down. They hold them down until you think, God damn it, Vince or Triple H or the powers that be are never going to get behind it because the crowd, if the crowd likes it, then they don't like it, and they're going to prove that their storyline is right. But then they always do it. They just wait for the time that they think is right, and they're usually right.
Are you a little bit disappointed that we didn't get a little bit of the backstory yesterday? Because WWE's been really good about this over the last year, where they acknowledge the past, they acknowledge history. I wanted them to give me a little bit of LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, and how they had a major feud
I didn't even
in NXT. Yeah. I think that's a good way to let people know a little bit about who Cameron Grimes is. I mean, look, Cameron Grimes, good wrestler. Cameron Grimes came out yesterday in SmackDown. The crowd went mild. Like they don't know anything about him. I thought that would have been a fun little thing to revisit. They battled for the $1 million championship. Big feud.
Yeah. I mean, Cameron Grimes, already since his introduction to the main roster, I have felt
there's nothing there.
He is a lifetime mid-card to low-card squash guy. Like and he was really good in NXT, but this happens a lot with NXT too, where it's pretty hit or miss, I think. Like, these guys have these gimmicks on NXT that the NXT crowd comes to know and love because they're always there. And then you come to the main roster and the gimmick is like the main roster crowd is like, what's happening here? Who are these people? You know, and it seems to happen more often than it doesn't. And it feels like that's where we're headed with him. Backstory or not, especially because they debuted him against Baron Corbin and now Baron Corbin's gone. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Overall, though, I thought SmackDown was a really strong show last night. We had Charlotte versus Io Sky. which was fantastic. I think the best part of that match was Bayley's fine. You know, we were worried about Bayley last week, and not even a limp. I mean, walking, no problem whatsoever.
That happened at a house show, right?
It happened at a house show in Maryland, for people that don't know, last week. And the referee, Jessica Carr, had to throw up the X sign. They stopped the match. It was a match between Bayley and I think Asuka. They had to stop the match. Bayley had to be helped to the back. She even showed a picture on Instagram after with a massive ice pack on her knee. You figured, holy shit, I hope she didn't blow out her knee.
Yeah, it was Asuka, because Asuka like rolled up on her or something. It was like an awkward transition or something like that.
And she's on SmackDown last night, totally fine. So it's like, maybe she can't wrestle for a couple of weeks, who knows? But she's fine. So that's awesome, because you know there's major Money in the Bank plans involved with Bayley, where I think ultimately she's going to probably accidentally cost EO the Money in the Bank cash-in. That has to be where they're headed there. Yeah, so I'm just glad that Bayley's okay, and they keep that story. And oh my God, she got the best laugh of the night. When she's sitting there with Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, who I think is really good on commentary, by the way. And she's sitting there with Michael Cole on commentary, and she tells you drool because you drool in your sleep. Like, such a stupid thing to say. And it was so funny. I love whenever she's on commentary, because her and Michael Cole, her hatred of Michael Cole is so great. It's such a fun little thing. So
how about the moment last night where Rhea yelled at Michael Cole, and it like there was a genuine moment where it felt awkward on commentary, which is good. Cole's great with that.
I know you're like down on the usage of Rhea.
I couldn't be more down on the usage of Rhea.
Yeah, but like I'm not with you there, man, because she's a
valet. She's a valet.
But she's involved in everything.
And so is every valet. So is Paul Heyman.
She's all over both shows.
So is Paul Heyman. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
but let me ask you this. Is Rhea's star growing or diminishing?
Diminishing.
No,
100%.
I don't think
it's
so.
110%.
No.
She has become an ancillary portion of Judgment Day. She doesn't wrestle. She doesn't defend her title. She's literally just there to help Dom. That is a valet. That is, by definition, that is a valet.
I think she is a major star. Star.
I think she should be a major star. I think, yes, she's a big star in the sense that they put a title on her. She's one of the top women in the company. She does nothing for her own character. There's nothing there. And there's nothing on the horizon.
Well, I think I disagree with doing nothing for her own character, because everything they have her doing right now is making you hate her, because not the valet part, but everything they have her doing is making you hate her because she's constantly cheating to help the rest of Judgment Day win matches. Like, I think there's been major character development with her.
Yeah. As a valet, they have developed her into the best valet, the best manager, the best whatever. She is a glorified manager right now. Like, they introduced a new men's title, Seth Rollins, right? And the whole thing was, we need a new title because the other title doesn't get defended, and this is the workhorse title. Mm-hmm. And then they took Rhea Ripley's title and they made it into the women's version of the Seth Rollins title.
Right.
And it's the exact opposite. Has she even defended it?
Yeah, against Natalya.
Right. So once. Okay. And we still don't know who she's going to defend it against. We assume Raquel, I think. Okay. Meaningless feud. She's going to win that feud.
I don't think it's meaningless. Why is that meaningless? Raquel's her size, man.
That's true. But come on. I mean, Raquel's not winning that title.
I understand the timing of it. Raquel's not winning the title, but like, Raquel was a badass in NXT.
Yeah. Raquel should have already been a heel here. I mean, she was a badass when she's a heel. I mean, let's be real. She was a great heel.
Yeah.
And she still has that in her, and I think it's coming eventually. But like, yeah, I just don't think they're doing anything of note to help Rhea's character other than as of the valet of Judgment Day.
Yeah, there was I'm totally in on it. I'm so okay.
There was a point remember when Judgment Day was just starting to get good? you and a lot of other people, and I maybe even at a certain point, were like, the real leader of Judgment Day is Rhea.
Yep. I still think
that. How? What has she done? What is she doing that makes her the leader in any way of that group?
To me, the leader
if anybody, the leader of that group's Dom. They all are working in service of Dom.
To me, the leader of the group is when all four of them are in the ring together. Who are your eyes on? And it's her, man.
It's always Finn. Come on,
her.
The guy's got a 17-pack.
My eyes are on her.
But that's because people think she's hot. It's not because she's a star.
I think she is the most compelling.
Not anymore. There was a point where she was. But like, yes, there was a point where she was, and she still has it in her. But literally, it's rinse and repeat every week. Come out. Dom gets booed. Rhea, somebody steps to Dom. Rhea steps to them and wants to get hit by a man, calls him Dom. Nobody stepped to mommy, whatever. And then we move on. And then
how great is it, by the way?
She doesn't wrestle. She doesn't fight anybody. I mean,
how great is it when they walk together to the ring that Dominic wears the mommy's always on top shirt?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Don't get me wrong. I think people might misconstrue what I'm saying here. The story is great.
It's so good.
Judgment Day in general is just great. Yep. Everything about them, I think, is great.
Yep.
That does not mean that they have really enhanced Rhea. The group is...
Yeah, I don't agree.
The group is top notch.
I think everyone's been lifted up by... Maybe not Finn so much, but I think all the three
Finn's
others...
in a world title feud. I mean...
Right, but I mean, Finn was already a big deal. But the three others...
And he should be bigger, I think.
The three others, I think, have absolutely been elevated.
Here's the way I look at it. Here's who the leader is. You want to know who the leader is to me? Who is the person that if you took him out of this group would make the group immediately lose relevance? It's Finn Balor.
I think you could say that about all of. I think you could say that about Rhea, especially Dominic.
I think as long as Finn is walking out with people next to him, the group is relevant because Finn is a massive, massive star. If you take Rhea out and Finn is just walking out with Dom and Damian,
I disagree.
Still a big group.
I disagree.
Still a group, huge group. Still Finn is going to be at the top of the card. Still Dom is going to get booed out of the building. Nothing changes about the dynamic other than you just don't have Rhea there, who is now a glorified ballet.
I disagree. And the finale, though, last night of SmackDown, I think the most interesting part, first of all, the symbolism where they have the table. And let me also add, Paul Heyman, I mean, he's on the verge of tears every time the camera's on him. It's so good.
Awesome. He's the best.
It's so good.
I don't know if he's as good as Rhea, but he's close.
But how about Roman? Roman sits at the head of the table.
Yeah.
And Jay sits off to the side. They're not across from each other because they're not equals. That's cool shit. But anyway, The thing that I thought was most interesting last night was, Jay is not interested in signing a contract because it's in the blood. They're doing tribal combat. And Roman says, do the elders know about this? And Jay says, they're the ones who ordered it, Oos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That shit was cool. That's by far the best takeaway from last night. I don't know what tribal combat means.
I think it means he can hit him with he said it means if you hit him with a stick, I hit him with a stick. If I'm gonna hit him with that chair right there, I hit him with that chair right there.
I know it's gonna be serious.
Slipper, I'm gonna hit you upside the face.
Yeah, it's gonna be good shit, man.
Actually, that was it. That was one of my two takeaways. My other takeaway from the Bloodline stuff last night is they are so very clearly continuing to tease Solo wanting to be the tribal chief.
Because Solo tried to hit him at the end and Roman stopped him?
Well, it started early in the night. Earlier in the night, Roman, they had the backstage segment. It wasn't even a segment. They had a backstage little thing where they're sitting in their locker room. Roman is staring at the lay, and so is Solo. Solo's staring.
I didn't notice that's what
staring through the lay, and Roman turns and looks at him like, "What are you looking at?"
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And then they looked at each other, and Solo sort of went, gave him a head nod, and then got up and left the room. And you could see in the background, like Heyman, when Roman turns and looks at Solo, Heyman's face is like, "Oh no, what's about to happen?" And then in the ring, Roman takes off the belt and he goes, I don't even care about that. He's like, whatever. And then Jay and Roman have the moment where Jay's staring at the lei and Roman takes off the lei and puts it down as if to say, all right, this is now on the line. But if you watch the segment back, look at Solo's face when Roman takes off the lei. Solo's like disgusted. Solo can't believe that he would potentially give up give up being tribal chief. You could see it in his face. He's like, he just took off the most important thing in our family, being the tribal chief. And then Roman stopping him, to me, is them telling the story of like, you still don't get it, kid. You're not even close. You don't understand what this is really about yet.
Can we wind up getting like a 4 corners match at Survivor Series?
Possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, here's the other thing. If you're right that Jay is going to win this match, then you could get Jay and Solo for tribal, something like that. Because they're obviously moving in that direction where Solo wants it to.
Are we getting Rikishi at SummerSlam?
Oh man, I don't know.
Tell you what, though, if we do get Rikishi, you better not come out to that old music. That's some happy shit right there. You can't come out to that. Tell you what.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool. They've teased it so many times, like him or somebody. I mean, the only time in this whole bloodline thing that we've gotten the elders was when the Wild Samoans came out and put the lei on Roman.
Gave him the lei. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So
that was really cool though. I don't know what tribal combat means, but
sounds like it means no holds barred.
But the symbolism was cool at the end with them, shaking hands, and forehead to forehead. I thought that was really cool shit, man. It's a really big deal, whatever it is that they're going to be doing. So
I also could envision a scenario where we get Jay versus Jimmy, and Jimmy comes back finally and blames Jay for all of this or something like that. Like, because remember last week the whole thing with Heyman and Solo was Jimmy's in the hospital because of you. And Solo spoke and was like, I'm never going to forgive you for this.
Right.
What if they brainwashed Jimmy into it was actually Jay's fault and just Jay's, they're back. The three of them are together and Jay's, on his own still. I don't know.
So SmackDown I thought was great last night. If we can we can't pass over Bobby Lashley's doing a lot of business, right? Oh yeah, so
a lot going on. Bobby Lashley's got some business.
All right, so he's got to recruit obviously all the black wrestlers. So
you know what I was thinking? Is it possible that I know I don't want people to take this like I'm not trying to say it like I'm just saying like LWO came back and it's been a huge hit. Could they be bringing back Nation of Domination?
You've mentioned that in the past. You have brought that up.
I know, but now it's like it went from first it was the Street Profits. He already has Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Now he's recruiting Trick Mello Gang. How many people can there be?
I think it's just got to be Hurt Business. Like
it should. I know. I'm just saying, is it possible? Like Nation of Domination was huge at one point. There was like 50 guys. Is it possible that there some version of it? Ron Simmons comes out, gives them the blessing, whatever,
I think the next time we see Street Profits, it's going to be as members of Hurt Business.
Yeah, but then last night they had a quick interaction with Trick Williams and
Wesley.
Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, okay, right, and Carmelo Hayes. Okay.
Yeah, it was Trick Mello. Trick Williams awesome.
But I mean, Carmelo is still the NXT champion.
Right.
So there's nothing imminent there.
I don't know. I mean, Judgment Day is up and down now.
I do like it, though. Like, I like the idea of bringing the Hurt Business back. I think it kind of sucks on a personal level for Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin.
Does that mean they're not in? I mean, are we saying that because he got the two other black tag teams, that one other black, like you can't just have all the black tag teams?
Yeah, like I don't think I think they're out.
And also, where's Omos? Is Omos not part of this?
Oh, that's right. MVP and Omos still have that relationship. I don't know. Maybe Hurt Business is going to be really huge now. I don't know.
Omos he needs to question MVP and his negotiation skills because MVP negotiated Omos to be a free agent. And ever since then,
that's right.
We haven't seen Omos on TV.
That's right. That's a good point.
I mean, he's got to really question his management there.
That's a good point. Point. So, yeah, I like what's going on there with Lashley and Hurt Business. Let's work our way backwards here with WWE. We don't normally talk NXT, but it's super relevant where Judgment Day has been invading NXT recently, and Dominic wins the North American Championship over Wesley. I love it, obviously. So now Dominic gets to parade around with that title. I assume he'll be back and forth. Hell, it was cool last night where Shawn Michaels, I loved because they're in Orlando and you had all the NXT guys who were hanging out. I thought that was super cool. Shout out Cavender twins were there sitting up front. That was really cool. And Shawn Michaels just shows up and he's willing to sanction the North American title match against Butch. So that was really cool. But I love Dominic winning the title there. Major heat, obviously. Everybody knows he does not deserve to be a champion, but just throwing the belt on him, I'm all for it. So I loved him winning that title. Loved it.
Yeah. It's his second major title since he's been in WWE. He's a tag champ, and now he's an NXT North American.
We're going to call him the belt collector.
I love his I love his explanation that even if Ray wins the US title, I have the North American title, so I have all of North America. So even if you do win the title, all you have is the United States.
Yep, love it.
I love that explanation. It's sound.
And it makes sense. Yeah, I can't poke holes in that argument. Yeah. Monday Night Raw. Start off, you got the Cody Brock stuff. I mean, it is what it is. SummerSlam's going to be fun. It's going to be really good. But if I can tell you, I think now I love Charlotte Flair. She's probably my favorite period when it comes to female wrestlers. But right now, my favorite women's wrestler is probably Chelsea Green. I can't take my eyes off her. When she is on the screen, I can't take my eyes off her. Everything I think she is phenomenal. Even just, there's such little stuff, the facial expressions, all of it. Like her celebration when her and Sonya won the tag titles, just her celebration and the way that she reacted to winning it is so perfect. I love everything about Chelsea Green. She is probably my favorite right now. I love that they're being featured.
Yeah. And then the backstage where Sonya is trying to be serious and like, we're taking over. And Chelsea Green's like, I got to thank my mom, my sister, my agent. She's like trying to thank everybody. It was, all very good. Everything about it.
She's my favorite right now.
Samantha Irvin. Shout out. I mean, the Chelsea Green when she announces her. It's all very good. Yep. I love it. And I'm just gonna keep beating this drum until it happens. Let's get Rhea out of Judgment Day. Let's make a faction with Rhea and those two. That's a dominant women's faction. They would run shit.
Yeah, I hope that Sonya and Chelsea hold on to those belts for a while. I think
who else is there? I mean,
I think there's a lot of meat on the bone there.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sonya's excellent on the mic, obviously, and Chelsea is such a top-notch personality and character.
You know what's interesting is part of the reason why I know it's probably not going to happen. You never know. Part of the reason why I thought the Rhea thing would work with these two is because as good as they are, neither of them strikes me as like a top individual champion, whatever, women's champion. I never like Sonya and Chelsea are both. I might be wrong about that. Chelsea Green might be a women's champion. Like she might be that good. She's pretty damn good. Like
I think she is really
as a heel champion. She could be really, really good.
And you know what? I didn't know if the whole Karen gimmick was going to work. Yeah. And while it's not like it's not totally a Karen gimmick. I mean, there's little stuff here and there, especially at the start. Who's the manager here? Every week she's asking Adam Pearce, who's the manager, because she never remembers. Yeah. But she's really made it into something that works.
Wasn't there a point where they were going to call that tag team the Complaint Department? Because I've
never heard that.
Because maybe that was just a Twitter thing.
Name. That's a terrible name.
But it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty funny though. I mean, it would have been perfect for them.
I love them though. I love that Sonya's getting some shine now because I really felt when during the Performance Center days during COVID, I thought she really shined and stood out. And when she was involved in the feud with Mandy Rose, I thought she was fantastic. And and Chelsea Green, like I said, I can't take my eyes off her when she's on screen. Yeah. She's phenomenal. I love everything she does. That was my favorite part of Raw.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. They should have it for a long time. And now we get, Raquel's freed up to do the thing with Rhea. So
yeah, so we're gonna get that at SummerSlam. It'll be although Liv attacked Rhea at the end of the night, right?
I think Friday? Yeah, I mean, I think the match that the fans would clamor for would be Rhea and Liv.
Yeah.
It feels like they've been building towards Raquel because of the interactions. Absolutely. Also, Rhea attacked, Raquel backstage. So now Raquel can say, oh, you cost us the titles, whatever. I'm seeing a scenario where Raquel loses and then turns on Liv, and we finally get the Raquel heel turn.
And of course, with the other women's title, it was announced even before they went to air last night. We're getting the very obvious triple threat, which is going to be fantastic. And I absolutely think Asuka walks out retaining that title.
Yeah, seems that way. Yeah, makes sense.
It feels like she's in the middle of like her first real dominant run. She's been champion several times. It feels like they're committed to her finally being a dominant champion the way she was in NXT.
Yeah. Yep.